that she'd been the unwitting star of an elaborate masquerade. She imagined him scurrying away, sniggering as he sent that text, to meet his goon mates and sink Jeroboams of champagne bought with her bloody wages, but quickly dismissed that idea. How could Conrad plan for her to get wrecked on red wine and painkillers, to the point where she hallucinated passionate fumbling into sexual assault? It was Griffin, no doubt. He probably had a camera in a tree facing her house. He saw Conrad leave the way he stormed out, and sent that text. Griffin wanted her to rush into the streets, screaming for him to come out so everyone would think she was losing it. Send her back to psych where she belongs. Rachel sat on the sofa, logged into LinkedIn and carried on building Sophie Thomas's employment history. She examined profiles of other recruitment agents, read their blog posts, looked up stuff on Google or Wikipedia. Soon she'd created what seemed to her a convincing past. 2 years as a junior recruiter at a consultancy called Global Enterprises, then 5 years as a senior recruiter at Apps IT, before joining Hayes Recruitment as a business resource manager. She added in an education history, a degree in management at UCL, and joined interest groups like Tech UK, Recruitment Analysts, and the Independent Agency Group. When she checked the time, it was gone too. The next day stretched ahead like a Royal Marines obstacle course. The breakfast battle, the nursery run, a full day on the ward, then getting Lily from Mark, who no doubt was still in a mood with her. Too much. Way too much. She trudged upstairs, shoulders slumped, feeling like she was heading to the gallows. At the airing cupboard door, she unfolded the step-stool. This was wrong. Definitely wrong. And she didn't like it. What if there was a fire? Or someone broke in? But she knew she was going to take something anyway, because if she didn't do something to soften her brain, she really thought it might crack. Rachel shot up, as fast and breathless as if she'd been drowning. Where was she? On the upstairs landing? She vaguely remembered moving her bedding to outside Lily's room before whatever she'd taken, Ambien, dragged her into sleep. She heard a noise, soft voices, cutlery faintly clattering. What was that? Was someone in the kitchen? She patted around, found her phone next to her pillow, the sound going muffled when she picked it up. She unlocked the screen and saw a video of a family table, laid with a turkey and all the trimmings. Cut to the kitchen. Tom Kerridge, still in his 20-stone days, shredding romaine lettuce by hand into a silver bowl. She pressed the back button. YouTube. 2 hours into a cookery compilation. What the literal shit? She couldn't even remember putting that on. To be so out of it that she didn't remember searching for YouTube videos while clobbered unconscious on sleeping pills. That could never happen again. She remembered last night. Conrad leaving. The text from Griffin. Oh God, her wages. What was she going to do? First question, Lily. She was supposed to go to nursery. Should she pull her out? But she was probably safer there than anywhere, with the chain-link fence, the one-in, one-out collection policy, that in the past had felt to Rachel like ridiculous overkill, but which now was a godsend. What next? The money? If she went to the police, the first thing they'd do was bring in Conrad, and there was no way she could do that to him. Not after how she'd acted last night. Even thinking that her wages were gone for good made her want to weep. Mark would help them out. He'd have to. He was picking up Lily today, so she'd ask him later, when she went to get her. It was time to tell him about Griffin as well, although she might leave out the bit about trying to meet him. She wasn't sure yet. She'd see. She flipped onto her front, wishing she could stay asleep for the whole day, pull the sheets over her head and block out the world. She slid her hand under the pillow and yelped at a sharp pain. She pulled her hand out, stared at the slash running over the ball of her thumb and jammed it in her mouth. Her fingers trembled against her forehead as she probed the wound with her tongue, the metal taste of her blood tainting her saliva. What was that? Some kind of trap? She knocked her pillow aside and saw the ceramic vegetable knife from the kitchen, the white blade stained red. She lifted the handle like it was the tail of a dead mouse she thought might still be alive. Obviously she'd freaked out during her Ambien haze, gone downstairs, found the knife, brought it back to bed and hid it under the pillow, all without waking up. As you do.